For some reason, every time I want to start a video, it's vertically up. I gotta really watch this. Okay, what I'm going to try to do here is check this out. I just did a video, but I deleted it because that was not responding. But let me try to pull something off here. Yeah. One-handed is tough. I'm just going to try to take the probe and touch this to here. Yeah, set this down a moment and reshift my fingers so I can pull this off. So I'm just going to touch this to here and look at the. So this is sitting at approximately zeroed up. So it's on. It's a little scrubby there because I'm obviously moving it. So we're at 10 volts per division. So the 9-volt battery is supposedly good. I'll flip the battery around. What I'm going to do is check the video feeding capacitor. So now it's battery's flipped around. That's AC going through me. Man-made noise, I guess you call it. So there's that little test. Because my we're on DC volts. Okay. Pause this a minute. This is the capacitor I'm going to check, but I have to get this back into my junction. I guess I need two hands. Back on. It's in my junction on X10. Backside is X10. Going to here. I'll be fiddling with this also. I may, depending. This capacitor checks good. So she's zeroed up there. Let's see what happens. We'll plug the TV in. Now I do not have a isolation transformer. I never have, never used one. I just kept my feet off our basement floor on the bottom rings of a wooden chair. I just observed all my stuff that plugs in. Earth ground is eliminated. That's a very serious thing to eliminate your earth ground from your hot chassis. You don't want to earth ground associated with your test equipment. I learned that working on a TV with my first Heathkit frequency counter. So okay, I have this hooked up this way and listening to other guys talk about the hot chassis. But I kind of knew that one from a kid, but when I started working on TVs, it was kind of new to me again. Okay, so the negative side, the other side, the left side of this white capacitor, this tubular capacitor, is to the plate. It goes to this peaking coils, and then it's to the plate of the 6AW8, the Pinto side. The other side is for clipping or whatever you call it. Okay, this goes in hot away from neutral, and this has to be on. I'm at 200 volts here, so there might be an initially drowned it out. That skipping is not there. It's a solid line, so we'll put it in here, and all systems go at about now. I got a funky switch here, so I don't know where the hell we're at here. So anyways, we're at 100. So there's not going to be any video. I have it snipped out. It's supposed to hook up in conjunction with this yellow wire. That's the cathode of the pitcher tube, and the 100K comes to that. So we got 130 volts leaking through there. And see what this is saying. This is at 50 volts per division. So we got 175, if I'm not jiggling it around too much. 100, Hard to keep my eyes focused on something. 175, I'll say there, of DC. We'll put it to AC once. I think you're supposed to do it slowly. Take a breath so the capacitor discharges or charges. So it's zeroed up, no signal, no video signal. There was video signal and I pulled this way back and it might show some AC, but okay, back to there. 50 volts per division, about 175. Showing it, not for accuracy. So that's leaking through. Now, test number 2, we know that's in the micro mini volts, unless if it's really severe. So we're going to take that. I'm going to short that to ground. If it sparks, it's got enough amperage to really do bad things to the brightness. Okay, going on right about, I'll flash it. It's on, it's held on right now. Has nothing to do with the video because the video is disconnected. Shorted out the capacitor, no voltage, no voltage. I'll disconnect the short and it should come back up. Okay. Now I'll try to disconnect the 6A W8, it's right here, and see what the voltage does. It's 126.9. Ouch, son of a... gun. It's pretty hot. Video amplifiers get pretty hot. And also it's, I think it has to do with the retrace bit. The snapper, I'll call it. I can't remember the sync. No, clipper or something. I can't remember what it's called. So we got 133 volts there. Okay, I'll pause this and put the video amp back in. It's back in, but okay, I guess that's quick enough. Here she's coming up, I guess. Filaments. 126 volts, so that's the 0.1. I'll disconnect the short out wire. I hang them right here. That's what I use this for. I use this for plugging in my AC, keeping my neutral always correct. So when I unplug, I either got hot marked or whatever. So we got 126 volts of DC there. AC shows half a volt. Back to the future. DC. Okay, now I will disconnect. Well, here I will connect this to here. Put it to ground. And hook it up to something here. I will switch hands if I can. And I have to, this Chinese wire is working against me here. I'm going to go down here and put it onto here. No, something tells me I don't have things hooked up proper. I need this I need to be connected up to my connection. Not ground, towards ground. Okay, back on, or continuing forward. I'm gonna touch this onto here. I think I might have already charged the capacitor. Capacitor's on. I'll discharge it. Put it on again. I brace my fingers so then I don't have to watch so much. I'll try to get both in here. Okay, connecting up. And I bounced it again. I'm really bouncing it. Here, let me put a little curvature in this. I'll have a better accuracy. Put a little L shape on it. On her. Short it. Discharge it. Again, I will try the same thing. Get down close. Oops. Oh shit, I probably just charged it. Get down close. She's down close, ready to go. Connecting up. So the yellow jacket is flirting around there with after the decimal point. It's on. It's off. Now I'll discharge it, see if that does any deflection on there. Yep. Yep. Okay. Back onto here. I quit shaking it. Okay, hooking up to the capacitor, the original video. Okay, so that capacitor is definitely leaking. Very little, but way enough to screw up the circuit. I thought this would get brighter without that. I still gotta check my voltages to the cathode to ground to see if it's doing its thing between 0 to 100 and some volts, and check that out. But so I had to redo this because I had this switched incorrectly, I guess. I'm at 50 volts. I think it's just my switch. My switch is funky. So if I had it on 100, I always keep my meters taught from my dad, keep your meters at the highest voltage setting, and I went down 1 figuring I was there, but it was an open connection of something. I had to get the 9-volt battery out and get a true test on it for DC. Metal tray. It is not grounded. It's floating. So this is it. I never use isolation transformers. I remember a neighbor of ours used to have one. I don't know what the secondary windings were, but he could water down his yard, put 2 posts into the ground, and night crawlers would come up. I don't know if it was a step up to 350 volts. I don't know what come out of it. If it was 6.3, it probably wasn't 6.3, but he'd stick the long poles, like a short ski pole, obviously, with metal ends, wires connected to them, and he'd stab it in the ground and then walk 5 feet, 10 feet from the other one and stab it in the ground, and shortly, within an hour, worms would start coming up from the ground. That's what he used to do. His name was Buckhorn, his nickname. So this is it. That's if you don't have a capacitor checker. My capacitor is getting iffy, and I ordered another one. I ordered a blue face one. I ordered a blue face one. I like this blue face stuff. Fender has what, the 1950s brown face? guitar amplifiers, 1950s. Then in the 60s, they went to blackface. Then into the somewhere between the 60s and 70s, they went to silverface. All is well. There's another. This is a signal tracer. And I also have the old RF one with that what's it got? Two plates on it? Has two, I can't say what my dad used to call them. Two connectors on the top. I can't think of what they're called right now. I can think of my dad used to call them, but I don't think I can say that. Free speech. Can't say things with free speech. I've never figured that out, but someday maybe. So I do have that stashed away. I have to get it out and monkey with it and see if it works. And so I have this one. I have that tall one too. The tall rectangle one. This one's called what? 320. I think it's a 514 or something that's oblong, and mine has a 7. Mine has a Locto tube in it. Most of them have a 6SN7, but mine has a Locto tube in it. So it must be a rarer breed, my blue face. So I think the tube is a 7F7. I just thought of it. 7F7. Over 200 volts. I wonder what it goes to. It's a voltage doubler in the TV, so it's probably too late. Try to see what it is. Yeah. Tubes were warmed up too much. That's not that bright, really. It really isn't. This stuff isn't happening. It's a basic gray all the way except for the vertical. I think the height is down there, and linearity seems to be up here for some reason on my TVs when I adjust them. That's not happening. It's just solid. You see some few retrace lines and white diagonal lines once in a while. That's about it. It's just the way it is. Centering rings are adjusted. Whoops. I think I got a mild shock. Am I still going? I got a shock. I touched one of these and got a little yippity shock. There. Calibrated. Now it shows retrace lines. So this is the vertical down here, I think. Yeah, I can't tell. I need a signal into it. I need that probably hooked up. No, I shouldn't. Not for vertical and horizontal. So this black stuff flipping down is not there. But you can tell it's flipping. I can see that the vertical is flipping this way. I can see that. It's not rolling down. It's flipping up, flipping out. But I think the center one is the horizontal hold. I'm turning. Usually when vertical stabilizes, it's pretty much to the end. So this is probably close to stabilized, really. Not really, but because it needs these capacitors changed. These I think are vertical. The vertical tube is right here. Horizontal is down below the mica capacitors, higher frequency capacitors, and I would assume this is the vertical output transformer. Audio, this is probably audio amp. The choke for the DC line is on the bottom side of the chassis, I think. Pretty sure it is, yeah, underneath one of the mounting legs, feet. So that's a 6CG7 vertical, 6CG7 horizontal. You can see the ringing coil. I still haven't put a 6U8 in here yet. I have to search through my crap and find them. 68 is happening, the 6AQ5 is happening. Everything's happening except for the TV. Needs all the capacitors replaced. So that 0.047, wherever it is, will probably end up right there. So it's still sitting at 132 volts. I don't know what would knock it down. Maybe a 100K resistor will knock it down. I'll see. I got a 470K ready for action. This state here, you have to pay sales tax. If you are making money, the reason I chose not to make money off of YouTube is because of our tax system. If you live in this state, even way before this, you have to pay property taxes on everything you use. So if I use this thing on a daily basis for a business, I would supposedly pay property taxes on this for a tool as in use. If you use a cell phone, so if you're repairing this stuff, we have real funny property taxes in Wisconsin. If I'm using this thing, even though I bought this back in the 1990s, I bought it when I was working at Montgomery Ward's doing small engine repairs, so I could use it as a thing to see when compare the 60 cycles to when the engine's running at 3,200 RPMs. I've just my interest of stuff, so I bought this meter, and so I had this way back then. But if I was using that today, as in a business, I would supposedly have to pay property taxes on it. And they estimate stuff. So if I use this in series for a probe or something, say I was repairing TVs or some radios, if I put this in series for some reason, I would have to pay, if I used it on a daily basis or monthly or whatever, I would supposedly have to pay property taxes on this here. We got crazy ones. I think Minnesota's the same. I think Minnesota copied that too. That's like rain runoff taxes, you know. If stupid America will accept it, stupid America will accept it. Well, out of my hands, but so everything you use, the phone I'm holding in my hands, I just bought that off of eBay about I don't know, a month ago. A little more than a month ago. And this phone I'm holding in my hand, I paid about $150, less than $150 for it. It's a Samsung A16, I think. It's the one that's not 5G. I didn't want a 5G one. But anyways, by me doing a video, and if I was to make money off of the video, I would have to pay property taxes on the camera I'm using, the cell phone I'm using. And if I use this phone to check prices on eBay, if I was selling stuff on eBay, if I was using this would be considered a office tool or whatever, and I would have to pay property taxes on it. So the people that do videos, especially young girls that are into doing stripping on the internet and stuff, they better be paying their property taxes on all their cameras they use, every freaking thing they use, or at least talk to a couple decent CPAs and ask what you got to pay property taxes on, because that's very serious. I think that's why they were going to hire 800 8,750 IRS agents, I think, was to come after people that are selling stuff on eBay and these Facebook and all these places. And that's why I chose not to sell stuff, because when I did work in my state, I had to pay my sales tax and collect sales tax, and we even had to pay collect sales tax on service and merchandise. So you got to really find out what the hell you got to pay your property taxes on. It's not just because, well, I don't have a building. If you don't have a building, you'd think, well, I don't have any property then. Well, this is property if you use it on a daily basis. If I was using this everything on the end of my test probe, I would have to pay supposedly pay property taxes on that. That's how serious property taxes are. And I don't think people know it. People that are doing these kind of videos on YouTube or any kind of videos, you got to find out what the hell you got to pay property taxes on, because the device you're recording it with, doing a video, or if you got 10 video cameras or mounting brackets, all that kind of stuff, you got to pay property taxes on every freaking thing in the state I'm in. And that's not a joke. We even in Brown County, if you look at the Wisconsin sales tax ST12 form, Google the ST12 form, you can even go on there and look. We collect sales tax in Brown County to help support the Green Bay Packers, and I think a baseball team too. So that would tell me they can't float their boat. If they're in Brown County, I believe it's Brown County, if they're collecting sales taxes like 1% for Green Bay Packers cannot float their boat. Something's up. Why can't the airlines float their boat? When we go into this crisis we're having, or just got over, why can't they float their boat and have their own employees watching the airlines? Something's going on. The money is getting put in pockets where it don't belong. Thievery's going on. Okay, I'm going to hook this thing up. I'm going to hook this one end to ground and touch it on there and see if it drags it down. These old ones I have are dear to my heart. Look at this thing's flipping left and right, this crap I buy. This is old. This could be back to, who knows, the 1990s or 80s, or not the 70s. I don't think it's that old. Okay, I'm going to hook up this 470K and see what it does. Oops. Okay, she's hooked up. So I dragged it down to 63 volts. That's 470,000 ohms. Look at it as money. $470,000 right there. 63 volts. Now I'll disconnect it. So I it's not, a lot of drag on it. But it's still, I can still make this dimmer. I think as the cathode goes towards B+, it gets dimmer. Towards ground negative, it gets brighter, more current. So this is it. Time out. Time to take a nap. It's 7:16 in the morning. I've been up since 2 o'clock, but I'm not tired. So this is it. Shutting her down. So that's one way to check capacitors if you don't have a capacitor checker. But I do have a blue face one coming in the mail, I think on Saturday. My other one, I think those wire wound potentiometers on the one for the increasing the voltage for checking the leakage is, I think, corrupted. I never checked it, but I just wanted this blue face one, so it was a good excuse to order it. So this is it. Orange Beginner's Corner out November 13th, 2025. being replaced with a yellow jacket. I think I'll use the IC. I think I have these in the what's it called, international capacitor version.